Battle royale in the bikes. A six-man shootout awaits. Matthias, Sam, Adrien, Pablo, Kevin, and John.
It's mano a mano in the cars. NASA versus Seb. Toyota versus BRX. And everyone versus the elements.
I'll just try to manage good specials, carry on attacking, and we'll see. It doesn't matter if you take it easy.
Bueno,
Right.
La verdad es que completado
I
la etapa
finished
3,
stage 3
se me salió el eje
and my
delantero,
front axle came off when I was
80
riding at 80
kilómetros por hora.
kilometers an hour.
Se descuadró la
Rim
llanta.
came off.
Confiado,
I relied on
confiado en una
an assistant
asistencia que
that in
teoría es
theory was
profesional.
professional.
Aquí
And
estamos
here we are fixing, thanks to my
arreglando,
father.
gracias a mi padre,
friend
que es
from
un amigo de
Mongolia.
Mongolia.
I also
Me zafé el
hurt my
hombro,
shoulder.
está inflamado.
It's
no sé.
inflamed.
Voy a tener que
I will have to have an
continuar.
injection to be able to continue.
There's something for everybody on stage 10. Fast sandy sections, dunes, enduro-style tracks through the canyons and valleys, and of course, plenty of tricky navigation. 375 kilometers of special to be covered. Slowly but surely, we are approaching the business end of Dakar 2022. And with the top 6 bikers separated by just 11 minutes, there is going to be a fascinating battle for the Bedouin Trophy. There was a long road section of over 220 kilometres before today's stage, and the temperatures had plummeted overnight, making for a chilly start.
Honestly, I thought we'd left the cold behind us because the bivouac was quite warm the last few days, and again this morning we're back to shivering, but yeah, we'll soon get warmed up when we start the stage.
The defending champion Kevin Benavides getting underway here. It was the second man into the stage after yesterday's winner, Nacho Cornejo. After losing 36 minutes on stage 1B, Benavides has got himself right back into contention. He started the day just over 10 minutes off the pace, but disaster was set to strike for the Argentine at kilometre 134. A broken engine and game over.
I
don't know what happened. I was riding well today, trying to push because we're just 3 days from the end of the rally. And I don't know, all of a sudden the bike just stopped. The engine broke. I could hear a funny noise and it just stopped and it wouldn't start again. I'm out of the rally. Well, disaster then for Benavides, but it was a better day for the other KTM riders. Danilo Petrucci admits that he's still learning the ropes of Rally Raid, and the Italian doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks between now and Friday. The Stage 5 winner just outside the top 10 today, but he was only 8 minutes down. It was a very difficult day for Joaquim Rodriguez because his brother-in-law, Paulo Gonçalves, lost his life on January the 12th, 2 years ago. J-Rod says that Paulo is with him wherever he rides. In fact, the whole Hero team wear his number 8 on their kits. It was tough for the Portuguese rider to focus today, but he came home in 14th place and he remains on course for a top 15 finish. Maciej Jemza has been on form in the past few stages, coming 10th yesterday and 7th today. He did have a small crash after refuelling, but he was still very happy with his performance. After crashing out last year, the former junior world champion is inside the top 20 overall. At the start of week 2, Lorenzo Santolino was very much part of the overall conversation, but the Spaniard has seen his chances fade in recent days. He also incurred a 15-minute penalty today for an engine change, and in spite of coming 4th on the day, he is now 40 minutes off the pace. Luciano Benavides was one of the front runners today, and he stayed with Kevin for a while after his breakdown. He was clearly very sad to see his brother forced to withdraw, but otherwise he had a very solid stage, just over 2 minutes off the pace in second. The stage victory went to Toby Price, his first of this Dakar. The Aussie's been playing catch-up since the start of the rally, and a third victory now looks out of his reach. He's still nearly 28 minutes back. But perhaps he can help out his teammate Matthias Walkner tomorrow from the front.
Look, honestly, anything can happen these last 2 days. So, yeah, like as you can see with Kevin, unfortunately today's stop. So, yeah, it's over until it's done. So we just got to keep charging, and hopefully tomorrow we have a really good day leading the pack out, and we go from there.
And so to the top 5 overall contenders on a day where the tactical games also came into play. Walkner was leading the rally overnight, but he lost quite a bit of time in the final part of today's stage. The navigation was tricky, but the world champion may also have been thinking of his starting position tomorrow. In the end, he came 26th on the day and slips to 4th place overall. Joan Barreda was pushing up at the front with Cornejo and Ricky Brabeck. Incredibly, the Spaniard's never gone higher than 5th at the Dakar, but that could change this year. Bang Bang had the 3rd scratch time, although he was also penalised 4 minutes for speeding. He'll be setting off behind Price and Luciano tomorrow. Pablo Quintanilla was also slapped with a 2-minute penalty, although it happened on the liaison rather than during the special. He came in 10th, so he'll be 10th on the start line tomorrow, and that's a decent position for attacking in the big dunes. The Quintanilla Express now sits 3rd overall. Sam Sunderland is ahead of him in 2nd. The 2017 winner stopped early on to check on the leading rookie Mason Klein, who crashed and hurt his hip and ankle. Sunderland shipped 11 minutes, but he'll be going into tomorrow's toughest stage in 17th place, and he has every chance of making up big time. Adrian van Beveren ended up being the day's winner or the day's loser, depending on how you looked at it. The Frenchman swept to 4th place on the day. It meant that he recovered the overall lead from Walkner, and he'll go into the penultimate stage with an advantage of 6 minutes. However, starting up near the front and with no teammates ahead of him, Van Beveren is bound to lose time to the riders who are coming from further back. This Dakar is very much on a knife edge. The others went with team strategy. The problem is that it's sand tomorrow, and when you're opening in the dunes, you lose time, and you give the others the right line, and they can make big gains. KTM, Husqvarna and Gas will team up. Honda have 4 fast riders. Unfortunately, Andrew was behind me today, so he can't help me. I'll be all alone, so time for me to step up.
Je vais être tout seul, à moi de jouer.
Here's how they lined up then. Price from Luciano Benavides, then Bereda and Van Beveren. Good efforts as well from Stefan Svitko. Inside the top 10 as well as Rui Gonçalves. The gaps are still so tight between the top 5, and the strategic games of cat and mouse should make tomorrow an absolute thriller.
The Battle of the Quads entered the final 3 stages. 20 entered, only 9 on the starting line for stage 10. The only quad to take the Dakar Challenge on without any support once again, Carlos Alejandro Berza. The Argentine here in 2020, after skipping last year, back on course to complete a 6th edition. Pablo Capetti won yesterday his 6th. Only 5 riders have won more, yet having just reduced Alexandre Geroux's lead to 24 minutes, disaster struck. Capetti's engine gave up the ghost to end his quest for a first quad title. Geroux now 2 hours and 40 seconds clear of Kamil Wisniewski, the Grenoble native now odds-on favourite to win the title 25 years after his late father Daniel passed away 9 months ago. Yet after Andujar and Capetti's withdrawals, it ain't over until it's over. The Frenchman leading out in front but dropped to 3rd. Wisniewski skipped past, mentored by 2015 quad champion Rafael Sonic. The pole is finishing strongly. The podium in Jeddah appears settled, just ahead of Francisco Moreno by 7 minutes. Riding with freedom though, Marcelo Medeiros, the Brazilian, out of contention overall but earning his Dakar stripes, doubling his tally of wins on his first visit to Saudi Arabia and having fun.
It was good. I started in 50 quadri and I passed all. And I like the stage. It's so much curve and dune and rock, and I like it. I love it. This station.
Medeiros' second stage win as he edged Wisniewski by 2 minutes 25. Geroux's 8th straight podium. And it's the Frenchman who is now just 2 stages from glory. What a time it would be to finish for the first time in Saudi Arabia.
Dakar 2005 arrives in Mauritania for one of the most grueling days in the rally's history.
The car is completely destroyed. The front axle is lying 100 meters away. We rolled something like 25 times at 160. It's a bit of a miracle that we're still here.
Zuhura Tishi, an interminable 7th stage of 660 kilometres. The soft sands and high winds make it an absolute nightmare as the competitors struggle with visibility and fuel management. Even the best find it tough going.
On est restreint à prendre 20 litres d'essence, mais 20 litres...
We're limited to 20 litres of fuel, but with 20 litres we won't make it through. The sand is too soft. We're at kilometre 400, there are 260 to go, and we consume 15 litres every 100 kilometres, so we won't get all the way.
Ça ira pas jusqu'au bout.
I think it's one of the hardest stages I've ever done. In the last 250 kilometres, there was a lot of camel grass. It was never ending. The kilometres didn't seem to be going down as it got closer to nightfall.
Well, Petter Hansel is the only car driver to arrive in daylight.
I think only 4 cars have finished and it's already pretty late. I'm not sure everyone's going to make it.
A makeshift bivouac has been set up at checkpoint 2.
No GPS, total darkness, and there are still 300 kilometers to go.
Some, though, are determined to keep going, but it's a risky business.
He wasn't shining down on me today. But we'll get there.
For the time being, it's impossible to move. We're going to wait 30 or 45 minutes, maybe an hour. When the sun is up properly, things may improve. But if anything, it's getting worse.
There was a mad sandstorm last night and it was freezing.
We were cold. It was like being in Le Touquet. With the cold and the rain, it's crazy.
It's tough because each leg is very, very, very long. And you lose a lot of energies. And you lose concentration. And that's the way, because the car is so hard.
On this incredible stage, no fewer than 144 competitors are forced to abandon.
Now, before we get to stage 10 for the cars, let's flash back to stage 8, Monday, when punctures hit the frontrunners. The race stewards have now deemed that Nasser Al-Attiyah and co-driver Mathieu Baumel hadn't properly affixed their seatbelts before continuing from the site of this wheel change. A 5-minute penalty has been retrospectively applied, meaning the Toyota Crew's overall lead is cut to 34 minutes over BRX ProDrive.
It's not big problem, but okay, we need also to respect the rule, you know, because okay, we are during the stage, and I put the seat belt, you know, and just I change the gears and I put the other one, you know. Normally you need to fix everything before you start, but okay, sometimes happen.
And so to today, Wednesday, stage 10, on the start line at Wadi Dawasir. South African Brian Baragwanath contesting his 4th Dakar, his 2nd in cars after impressing on a quad. Piloting the Century Racing CR6 buggy with Leonard Kramer in the co-driver's seat, steadily climbing the leaderboard since problems on the first weekend, they've made up 28 places to be 16th overall. Christian Lavier had a former life as an endurance bike racer on circuits, not off-road, but since then he has contested 18 Dakars. He's won the T2 production class 3 times. Best overall result was 6th in 2015. In the MD Rally Sport Optimus buggy, he's currently 15th overall. Going toe-to-toe with the factory drivers, privateer Mathieu Serradori is always in a David versus Goliath battle. He was even forced to surrender his long-term co-driver Fabien Lercan to work with Sebastien Loeb. Nonetheless, Serradori continues to impress in the SRT Century Racing CR6 buggy alongside new co-driver Loic Minaudier. 9th quickest on the stage, remains in the top 10 overall. Ex-biker Kuba Pichakonsky in the X-Raid All and John Cooper Works Mini is currently the highest placed car in the traditional T1 class, with the T1 Plus incorporating the Toyotas and the BRX. So it's been quite a mission for him and co-driver Timo Gottschalk to keep up without the upgraded suspension and wheel size. Nonetheless, 6th quickest on this stage and they remain 5th overall. Is there enough of Dakar 2022 left for him to improve on his best ever 4th place? It looks like Orlando Terranova was a very good signing for Bahrain Raid Extreme. He's delivering great drives in the ProDrive Hunter and really testing the new suspension and bigger wheels along the way on this sustainability-minded, biofueled project. Orly's 3rd quickest on the stage and 4th overall for the Argentine Dakar veteran. Saudi driver Yazid Al-Raji is contesting his 8th Dakar and his best ever result. 4th came the year the event came to his home country. Now the Toyota driver is with long-time stage rallying co-driver Michael Orr, and things are working well, looking good for a podium. This just goes to show that so much of this special is just purely flat out. The pair dropped a little time but remained 3rd overall with more than half an hour gap back to 4th place. This was a strong stage for the new concept electric-powered Audi, with Carlos Sainz and Stefan Petterhansel first and second quickest on the standings. And in the end, it was a stage win for Petterhansel, a consolation for Mr. Dakar, who is technically out of contention for a 15th Dakar win. After Sainz last week and Ekstrom on Monday, each of the fleet of Audi RSQ e-trons has now had a stage victory. To be honest, I'm not someone who chases stage wins. Normally I'm more interested in the final result. But it's all good for now. Each Audi driver has won a stage, which overall is very positive. Even the scenery is suited to cars. Sebastian Loeb must be starting to feel he is on course for another second place on the Dakar. This is his 6th entry. He was second in 2017 on his second Dakar. He got a podium in 2019, and he's still hunting his maiden Dakar win. Even after Nasser's penalty, with 2 stages left totaling just over 500 competitive kilometres, the gap is over 30 minutes to the win. And he seems a little resigned and disappointed. Overall, a good day. We lost maybe a minute after missing a waypoint, but apart from that, we attacked. It went well, no problem. Nasser's years of fighting the power and weight of the regulations, as well as the 4x4 Toyota underneath him, look like they've paid off. The 3-time Dakar winner has put himself in a commanding position to win a 4th Dakar and to finally deliver on Arabian soil, which is such natural terrain for the Qatari. For Nasser and Mathieu Baumel, the hard work and consistency in the first half of this rally is paying dividends.
100, right corner, and then going to cap 123 average.
So now they just need to manage it and manage the lead to the end.
You gain 1 minute.
To finish and without any losing a lot of time, we lose only 1 minute from Sab, you know. Tomorrow it's a good road position for us, and we are quite happy. Today no puncture, no nothing's issue with the cars, you know. Navigation was good with Matthew, and yeah, we are step by step to Jeddah.
Reasons to be cheerful, part 3 for the Audi team. This project continues to silence the doubters. 3-stage wins. Confirmation then of that 3rd stage win, and a 1-2 here for the German mark, with 2 BRXs in the top 5. Loeb beat Alatia by 1 minute 25, but that only shaves a fraction off the overall lead. 32.5 minutes is the cushion Nasser has for the win, with 2 stages left.